Welcome to the YouTube channel LearnRHEL by myself. This video is going to be teaching about RPMs, Red Hat Package Management. Packages are archives specific to the operating system of RHEL variants that you can use to basically transport a collection of files and configurations and documentation in a given format, similar to a tarball or a CPIO file or any other archive. But this is a very specific proprietary archive type. So anything that's running Red Hat style operating systems, such as Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Scientific Linux, or CentOS Linux, will actually be using RPMs to distribute software for the majority of what it does. So one of the first things you should do is always take the opportunity to do a man on any command you learn. So let's do a man on RPM. This particular video is going to be about querying and verifying packages, more specifically querying them. We can use RPM space -- query, or we can shorten it down to -q. And then our select options will be how do we determine what it is, our criteria is that we're looking at, versus once we are looking at it, what kind of feedback do we want to know about the package. So take a look down here at select options. We can give it a package name. We can give it -a for all or $all. You could even tell it, hey, based on this particular file, which you would have to provide the full path of the file, tell me details about the package based on the query options, which are now right here. So what I'm going to do is a query of all the packages first to show you a listing of what can be shown that is currently actually installed on the operating system. Not what can be installed, like Yum will do, but what is actually installed. And then we'll build on that. So RPM is the command we use, but let's go ahead and start off on the right foot. Let's use the sudo command in front so that we can escalate privilege if we need to with RPM, and then -q for query, and then A for -a for all the packages on the machine. And when I hit enter, it's going to basically show a listing of every package, and it will shoot right off the screen. Watch. Oh, sorry, password. There we go. You can see that the listing is scrolling off the page. Well, let's do that again in a manner that helps us to know everything that's going on. We can either redirect the output to a file, or we can actually just pipe it to less, because I don't really care to capture the listing of these packages by name and version and release. I just want to see all of them listed. All right. So when I did that, the very first package that's listed is this TBB, Tango Bravo Bravo -4.1 -9.2013-0314.el7.x8664. And there's a whole bunch more packages, and there's pages. We can hit the space bar and go page by page by page. Well, let's build on our skills here with the RPM command. Let's go ahead and do a sudo RPM -q, and then just specify that TBB package. Just that. Now, it didn't prompt me for a password again because sudo already has it, and the security token is already established, and I think it's going to last for about 5-10 minutes. There's another video about using sudo, so if you need to understand more, please watch the video. So here we've learned the full package name here. We got the TBB for the package name space. We got the hyphen, and then the next part is this 4.1 between that and the next hyphen. The 4.1 is referring to the version of the package. And then this 9.2013-0314 all the way up to, but not including the period, is the release of the package. The .el7 refers to the distribution. It's kind of like what brand or family of operating systems is the package actually intended to be used on. So Enterprise Linux 7, so not Enterprise Linux 8, not Enterprise Linux 6, not Ubuntu, but any Red Hat variant that can run Red Hat or CentOS or Scientific Linux can make use of this actual package. Why would you want to do that? I don't know. You might run into some challenges at some point in the future where you do that. You might have some codependency issues, so just do your best to stick to your own distribution, but just realize that if you have to, you can actually use the package from another operating system. Quite often in a production environment, you might be running a Red Hat and realize that, well, the package I need to support this other software component might be better served by downloading a CentOS package and getting it installed. That's just a side note. All right, so let's learn more about TBB. We can do that by doing RPM minus Q I for information about the package. We'll just type TBB. We could also put the entire package name here like we see it, and then we hit enter. This is everything. In fact, it'd be a good skill to learn to run the minus QI command against a package and learn that it has a name field, a version field, a release field, architecture field. There's different types of architectures. This one just happens to be binaries in the package, and that's pretty much all it carries. And this is the install date. So this particular package was installed on Thursday, the 3rd of December, 2020, specifically at 7:02 and 56 seconds in the night. All right, so group. This is kind of useful, but it just tells you that, hey, this particular software falls in a category of development tools. This is the size of the package after the package is extracted. So it takes up 361 kilobytes, I believe is what that is. And that way you'll know how much disk space is needed before you install the package and you don't saturate your file system to an extent you can't do anything with it. License. Well, most licenses are going to be like GPL v2 or Apache or something along those lines. So that's what that's about. Signature. This is so you can validate the package in terms of having more security over the package. It's more of a user's warm and fuzzy feeling kind of sense here. The source RPM, that means that somebody probably downloaded this RPM from somewhere else, made some tweaks to what's called the spec file before turning around and doing an RPM build to make this specific package. Build date, that's the day somebody actually went through the trouble of compiling code into a package. Build host, that's where they did it. So you can see it was contributed by CentOS. Relocations. What this field is for is telling you whether you can take the software and force it to basically move it from slash to some other directory so that you can control how much you saturate a file system. Not a lot of packages actually offer relocations, and I think the whole concept of relocations has been dropped entirely from the philosophy and the designing of packages. So it's possible to do it if you ever have to write your own. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who have done it, but it's just not as well supported, and it's really not even encouraged anymore. Okay, so the packager. CentOS build system is the name of the packager. That's kind of the human name they gave themselves. The vendor, well, CentOS, there you go. URL. This is where they actually downloaded the actual code that was source code before it was put into the package with the spec file before they built this package. So if you need to know more about TBB, the man pages for this isn't good enough, well, just go back to http://threadingbuildingblocks.org. That'll help you. Summary. This tells you a quick 10-second summary of what the package is for. It means nothing to me, so I'm not going to go over any of that anymore. Description field. This tells you a lot more. This is like the 2-minute spiel. When you're in the elevator with an executive who's very friendly and you're hoping to get a job, well, this is the the description of the package so that you can determine if you really want this package on your system or not. There's some more things you need to know about this package. Maybe it has some dependencies on it, or maybe it depends on software that's already installed. So let's take a look at other options. Let's do a man on the RPM command again. And under the query options, let's also take a look at this -- list or -L option. This will let you know about what files were actually distributed with the RPM archive. So RPM -Q, not I this time, but add the L, and then again specify TBB or the full package name. I'm just going to do a short because it doesn't make any difference. And here we go. What TBB provided was a user lib64 lib tbb.so.2, user lib64 lib tbb malloc.so.2. You can read it for yourself here. All of these files were specifically provided with this package. Now, take a look at this doc reference, because the next command I'm going to show you is also pretty useful. RPM -Q D T BB. Now, if you have a package installed and you're trying to figure out, is there any documentation that can help me understand what this software does, how to use the software, you can use the RPM -Q and then specify the lowercase d afterwards, and then again the full package name, or sorry, the part package name, and get your results. If you notice, these two files were provided, and they're listed here again. So you want more about TBB? Read the read notes.txt. Read the copying file, and you'll have a much better understanding of what it does, how it's done, how it's managed in terms of licensing, and go on your happy way and accomplish your mission. Okay, more on the man for RPM. Let's figure out what this particular package provides. We can basically do an RPM -Q -- provides in the Firefox or whatever other command. So let's just stick with TBB. RPM -Q -- provides. So if this thing provides software, some binaries that are relied on by something else, we can sort of find out by figuring out what this provides by doing this. Okay, so we know it provides lib tbb.so.2, and we can also see that's full path up here. Lib tmalloc, lib tmalloc._proxy.so.2. So these are the kind of features that it offers. Go back to man RPM page again. Down here, we can do a query on requires. So we've done the provides. Now we can turn around and see what package would be dependent upon this one. I believe that's what that means. So RPM -Q, capital R, and let's specify, I think we can get away with just that binary name. I think. Not installed. I think it's installed. Let me try the full thing here. Okay, yeah, I didn't really like that output. Anyway, this RPM command takes a little working, and I am not an expert at it, but I have used it a few times. It's really useful to sometimes figure out what requires a software package you need before you remove it, so that you don't break something that you do know that you use, but you don't realize that is reliant on the thing you're getting ready to remove. In other words, Yum does a much better job of helping manage this relationship, but RPM doesn't. And this particular video, again, is about RPM, not about Yum. So let's take another look at RPM and see if there's anything else I can share with you. Changelog. So this is actually pretty good. You can use changelog a lot if you're involved in any government agency type work, where you can determine whether CVEs have been addressed by a package to confirm that the newest version of Firefox addressed some CVE that you know you're tracking. So if you can do RPM minus Q dash dash change log, notice it's separated there, and then specify the name of the package. Now, I don't really care about TBB in this case. I don't use it. I don't know what it does. I don't really want to focus on it. But let me do this with Firefox. Hopefully we can get some good results. I'm going to pipe it to less. And here's the change log of everything that's happened to the Firefox RPM package in general over quite a long time. So November 18th, 2020 was the last time this package was tweaked, and it was updated just to make this build. Before that, build 78.4.1. And you can see here the enabled add-on side loading. And if you just go down, you might see references to CVEs. And hopefully this won't make a fool of me, but it looks like it is. Oh, here we go. This is not a CVE specifically, but this is something that shows a Mozilla Bugzilla number has been addressed. Added Google API keys. Okay, well, let's keep going down. And Red Hat Bugzilla number. Firefox crashes on NFS drives. Red Hat Bugzilla number. I'm looking to see if there's anything with CVE in it, but it looks like, here we go. This particular Red Hat package that's been installed did address the CVE 2017-5428, but you can see that was way back at version 52.0 with release of 5. So way back in 2017, this CVE was addressed. But since then, the RPM, even though it's been updated and evolved and constantly changed to meet security requirements and feature enhancements and so on, it doesn't explicitly always tell you whether a security common vulnerability exploit has been addressed or not. Most of the time it does, but you can't always trust that. So this is why you go to the changelog. And sometimes even looking at the changelog brings even more questions. So you just have to know how to do the proper diligence, follow up with the community that's made the package. Maybe they can help you by giving you more feedback from the upstream vendor that created the package for you. Going to go ahead and hit Q to quit out of the changelog. And I think that's it, but let's take another look at the RPM command. And, oh, scripts. So scripts are pretty cool. You want to know about them when a software installs, whether it's doing some other things to the operating system to help update the system in the background. That way you don't have to make manual changes of your own. So let us see if RPM minus Q dash dash scripts for Firefox has any. We want to do the P for package. Oh, sorry, no P for package because we actually have it already installed. So there are some actually scripts, post-install scripts. Handles update desktop database. Touches a no create command. There's a pre-uninstall, so just before uninstalling the Firefox package, it's going to execute this code. Just after uninstalling the Firefox package, it's going to run this code. And then there's post-trans, which for the life of me, I don't know what it means. I'm sorry. I can't tell you. Maybe you can reach back to the community and ask them yourself. You can always get on to the CentOS forums at www.centos.org and ask the question yourself. Help yourself learn by going and communicating with other people. Get other ideas, get other inputs. So that would be the end of the tutelage for tutoring rather about the RPM command and doing queries related to the RPM command. Thank you for your time.